Going live. Does it show that it's live? Because it's not going all the way through.
Yep, it's live.
Yeah, it is. Cool. Let's just double check. If you can hear me and see the live video, welcome. Welcome. Oh yes, live. Okay, great. So welcome everybody. It's Dante here. Welcome to the weekly live stream. I almost canceled today because I'm feeling pretty sick for 10 continuous days now. Woohoo! So send me your healing vibrations and energies. I'd really appreciate that. For that reason, today will be a shorter stream of 1 hour. If somebody will kindly watch a timer for questions to be about 5 or 6 minutes for the first round, and then potentially longer if there is the time, or potentially a follow-up question if there's the time, that'd be great. I will not be doing, or we will not be doing the transmission on the third eye chakra as was announced, because it will be a shorter one and we're just going to focus on the Q&A. It does take quite some energy for me to do these transmissions, so I'm just being mindful of that as I've got a lot to do. Going on a bus in 2 days, a long bus ride, and then I will be out in the forest at an intentional gathering without internet, most likely for about 2 weeks. So the transmissions will stop for probably 2 weeks, maybe one. I mean, I'm just assuming there's no internet out there because that tends to be how it works in a forest, but you never know. It might be a surprise forest with amazing 4G, in which case I'll be happy to continue doing it, but it's most likely not going to happen. You know how it works here, hopefully. So you can type your questions in. You get better responses when you ask them aloud, giving the person before you the adequate time to make sure they're done with their question, and just hopping in as you wish. If there comes to be a lot of people here, we'll form a sort of queue. Make sure you're muted when you're not speaking. Private channeling sessions are available and highly suggested to really go deeper and explore, as we'll only really scratch the surface in these group sessions, but in private sessions you can really uncover some of the core beliefs and blockages that might be affecting you, and tap into a deeper connection with your own guides to let this higher frequency energy be a deeper aspect of your life. So all of the info is on dantestarshine.com, as well as the information on the channeling course that will launch once more people have signed up, essentially. So we're looking at November or December, and there's a lot of information available on it there. So I think that's everything. I'm going to now copy the Zoom link and put it in the YouTube chat for any YouTube watchers to join the Zoom chat. Okay. Oh, and the last thing to say is that these are freely shared offerings on donation, or donations are accepted rather for these freely shared offerings. If you want to support, you can send a donation on dantestarshine.com on the Book a Session tab. There's all of the information there. There's also a Patreon, and the Patreon will also give you access to the my intention is that once a month to do a private transmission again. So You can join on Patreon and support in that way, or you can send a one-time donation through the links there, and it is a great support in allowing me to continue to share this every week. Thanks again for being here. I think that's all that I need to say, so we can dive in. Hello, do we say good day to you? At this moment of your time, we are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of a galactic alliance, and as well on behalf of many of your own guides supporting your planet in this process of evolution, which some of you term ascension. It is a great gift for us to meet you, and we thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. For together we both expand in a deeper connection and understanding of Source in this process. And for that, we are deeply grateful. So we extend to you that gratitude, that unconditional love, and we ask in which ways can we be of support to you today. Knowing again, as the channel said, we will not be doing our transmission, simply diving right in to the questions that you have to explore at this time.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
I would like to ask a question regarding the passion and expectation relationship.
All right.
I usually, as you said, you cannot get rid of expectation.
Yes. You can only get rid of your attachment to expectation.
Yes. So when I'm building my expectations, I get excited about it, and when I start acting on my passion, I usually, or many times, I find out that my expectation was unrealistic.
All
So
right.
then many times I quit or stop acting on it because my passion is no longer there, and my project or my dream was not fulfilled. So I moved to another project. So it seems to me like I'm not able to finish my project that I start. So what shall I do, or what I'm doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong. Sometimes you don't actually need to finish the project. If you are aware of the lessons that you're still learning in the process of enacting your passion and seeing that perhaps expectations are not realistic, you can follow the next available path of passion, hopefully bringing those lessons with you so that you can set up clearer and more realistic expectations the next time.
So the secret is to adjust my expectations, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm currently in exploring possible trading, uh, especially with cryptocurrencies. So
All right.
my dream is to have a automatic trading bot that is doing the trading, and I'm expecting it to be profitable. So can you suggest me if what kind of strategy is the most profitable, or I can use?
When you only play with what you're willing to lose in the experiment of this game, then it is much easier to ensure that you keep a balanced mind, that you don't allow yourself to become too swayed by the ups and downs and the comings and goings, knowing that this process is one that will require that you learn many lessons. You can accept that as an aspect of it and gradually see how small wins can teach you the strategies that will then lead you to massive gains.
And can you give me any suggestion? What kind of strategy can I focus on, or should I focus on?
We would say we're not really the best on teaching you all of the strategies. What we can add to it is the intuitive element to it. You need to balance this out with all of the logical information that's out there about how these things work, which we couldn't fit into 5 minutes or even an hour or two. Though the feeling that you experience in the process is also a great key. Are you aware of how your intuition is guiding you? So notice that feeling of having these unrealistic expectations. Get acquainted with what that feels like within your body and what the pattern behind that is. Learn to be very cautious when you are experiencing the symptoms of unrealistic expectations and instead go for a more grounded approach. Excitement doesn't have to be a thrill and a rush of energy. Many of you hear us talk about excitement and you assume that's what it is. But excitement is often calm and grounded, but very motivated and very energizing and joyful in its own way. So learn the difference between that rush of energy that might feel euphoric but is not always grounded and real, and that gentle stream of positive energy that is the more sustainable approach to passion, and what we encourage you all to explore.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks to you as well, yes.
Well, there's a question from the chat room. So the person is Jeff, and he's asking, an Indian guru named Ramana Maharshi, called the Buddha of the 21st century, said in his book that focusing on your inner body is the best way to reach enlightenment. I wonder why he said that. Did he become an ascended master after he died? And could you also tell me if his meditation is the best way for me to achieve enlightenment? Thank you.
From the inner body is a necessary part of anyone's path to enlightenment, if you term it that. It is here within your inner body awareness that you feel this frequency of passion. His methodology is similar to what we describe as clearing negative beliefs from your system, though we take a much more mental approach. You can still clear those beliefs through your system at the somatic level and the somatic level alone. This is especially important when you find yourself deeply in the grip of a pattern. In other words, when an emotion has become so grasping and so dominating in your experience that you don't feel as if you can free yourself from it. So by bringing your awareness into where you feel this energy in your body and having a perspective of being the detached observer, breathing into that sensation with an awareness through your entire body, and intentionally spreading that sensation to move from the area where it may be stuck to travel through the body, and watching it as it moves is a very powerful way to clear these energies, clear negative beliefs, and lighten your load. We encourage everyone to develop the ability to do that, because whatever you choose to do, it's something you will need to be able to do. Is this being an ascended master? Yes. Is this being, or rather, is this the best practice for you? You can learn a lot from it. This practice is not necessarily for all of those who would wish to be both very connected to spirit and also very immersed in your world. For there's an aspect of this practice that is somewhat detaching of your human experience, your human desires. And in this sense, it is not something that everyone will be called to, and not something that will be relevant or even helpful for everybody. Everyone can apply the formula. The formula of acting on your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome will involve different permission slips for everybody's different path. So this kind of meditation is a permission slip. It allows you to access certain states of consciousness and unlock certain things within yourself. You do well by exploring all of the permission slips that are out there, and then adjusting them, hybridizing them, morphing one permission slip with another, so as to find the unique ways that these permission slips can manifest in your life and on your own particular path.
Thank you. I guess I'm leaving the floor open to everyone else. Okay, well, since we got some shy ones, in a joking way, I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
All right, yes.
Again, great thank you. Those interactions are amazing. And I think yesterday I saw some of your assistants going around in the sky. Those very interesting bright stars. I was always kind of wondering, what are these?
Were they moving?
Some seem to appear when my focus was being placed upon them even further.
So they were not moving.
No.
This could have been something specifically calling you to an energy from the stars, even when stars are not manifesting as light ships or shooting stars or something of this nature. When you look upon the stars, there's an energy exchange taking place. There's a consciousness within all of the stars, hence systems of astrology were born. You can observe the energy that moves from the stars into your reality. And simply by paying attention to which stars you are drawn to and noticing what happens as you gaze upon them, you can feel levels of energy exchange. This will be certainly potent with the stars connected to intergalactic civilizations, such as, yes, the Pleiades, where we come from, and the star Sirius, which many of you may know and recognize, stars like Arcturus, and so on and so forth.
That's awesome, because it's something I noticed in the last few years, and it's as if they begin to be bright spots in the nighttime. And at times there's a cluster of them nearby.
Yes.
Okay, well then I do have another question.
All right.
It would be about the impact of mantras. I understand eventually the aspect of repeating a mantra for it to become second nature, but I was wondering, what is the actual impact on the energy body when it comes to the repetition of mantras? Are we, I mean, I understand the aspect of having communication with the cells, yet there's, let's say, maybe something that's not necessarily connecting in my mind when it comes to that.
Your being is a vibration, so everything you say leaves a deep impact within your energy field. Mantras, when you repeat them continuously, take the frequency of those sounds and bring them to a subconscious and unconscious level. It changes your consciousness in a deep way, and this will bring about a shift in the way that you experience and perceive reality. So these mantras, when they come from some of these ancient languages, are vibrational. Your modern languages have evolved in ways that have distorted much of the meaning of the words that you speak. And while there is great impact to the words you say, because your mind thinks in these languages, they don't have that visceral shift in vibration that some of these ancient languages do. So by working with some of these more ancient mantras, you can shift your vibration quite viscerally, have the impact intended from the mantra.
Thank you. Is that similar to, I guess, light language? Basically having um, this feeling, this energetic feeling and sensation just repeated up to a point where it's anchored into the body.
Well, the light language is more of a way to tap into the energy and allow the energy to manifest through you. This is a way that many of the initial languages were formed, through that spontaneous transmission of energetic states. So when you have a mantra, you're bringing the energy in the different direction, the opposite direction, really. You're repeating sounds that are connected with a specific frequency so as to attain that frequency. Whereas the light language, you're spontaneous, allowing whatever frequency that you can connect to manifest as a sound vibration to make that frequency more manifest into physicality.
Oh, that's terrific. Great, thanks, Pleiadian Council.
Oh, okay, thanks. You as well.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you, and thank you for this transmission. My question is about the last time I was in Hawaii. There were two objects that manifested. One was a small prism, rainbow prism, and the other was a toy frog. And I'm curious if there was any message for me or any things I should notice as I go back to Hawaii this next time.
What did those things represent to you? Anything specific?
Yes, the frog definitely represents home and coming home and abundance in the where someone is being or someone is living or making their home.
Yes. So you can conceive of that manifestation as a message that this feels like home to you, and this is where you will land as home. The rainbow is a representation of the visible light spectrum. Now, we've described everything in your reality manifesting from as from unconditional love, and love being that core vibration. Light is another way to describe it. So everything is both love and everything is both light. Light describes an even higher dimensional aspect of this love. We talk about love because it is the most graspable and tangible quality of this energy to describe to you. So everything is this light, and you are made of the light. Everything in this reality is made of the light. And the rainbow represents all of the different shades and hues of the light, all of the different levels at which the light manifests, from the 7 chakras to the different gradients of dimensions that you inhabit. The rainbow symbolizes the bridge from one level of reality to another, from one level of consciousness to another, and all of the diversity contained within it. So when you see the rainbow in the sky, it often represents a portal for those who are synchronistically drawn to catch it in the very right moment, that you are moving from one phase to another, moving through that portal from one level of consciousness to another, or yes, from one chapter of your existence to another. The rainbow, in this sense, also has the universal meaning of a message of hope. For through the transition, you are always moving on to something that is of a more refined frequency.
Thank you for explaining that in such depth, and it's very, very helpful for me to understand. It makes me very excited.
Yes.
I have a small follow-up question to that, if I may.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. During this particular trip, during a ceremony that I was participating in, there was an Evie bird that was circling around above the ceremony. Might there have been any message for me, or message in general from that Evie bird?
What did he feel in connection with the bird?
Bird that was circling around above. So
was there any particular connection you felt to the bird?
Well, I didn't see the bird because my eyes were closed, but the person who was conducting the ceremony told me that there was an Evie bird. And at the time, I didn't have the wherewithal to feel the connection because there was just so many other things going on. So I wasn't able to decipher that there was an Evie bird. But she had mentioned that Evie birds are often watch over elders and ancestors in Hawaiian culture.
So your project is being supported and watched over by the elders. There's a higher vision that is being protected in that sense by those who have come before and support this vision.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Leading
Oh,
counsel.
thanks to you. And again, that is the wisdom of the elders themselves. We simply reflect again what information they have already relayed in a sense.
So the remembrance of what the elders have already relayed.
Yes. Especially when it comes to local fauna. The indigenous people understand the particular messages that those animals tend to bring. Of course, your own personal connection to those sorts of animals will always deepen and always support you in coming to better understand why that animal is showing up for you with the message.
Yes, thank you. That's the part that I want to understand deeper, and so that I can go deeper, just helping me understand that. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And as it comes to signs, also always pay attention to what just happened in your life before you received the sign, or what you were thinking and
to get the
feeling
mustard
at the
right.
moment that the
Mustard's really
sign was received.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Pleiadian.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
Well, there's a question in the YouTube chat room.
All right.
The question from Sanda is, should I stop watching online porn for open contact? Sometimes I feel like it's a waste of time. How can I get out of this addiction? Thank you.
Well, habits are not always that easy to break. We would suggest looking at the sort of this sort of content that you're watching, because in the industry, much of this content is programming false expectations of sexuality that are not really grounded in what sexuality is like. This adds to the overstimulation and the way that this content in general floods your brain with dopamine in a way that is very hooking. So what we would encourage is to shift gears. Instead of, for example, looking at this content from the industry, look at self-created content. Look at the free self-created content that might be more representative of truer forms of sexuality, and limit your consumption of it. If you watch it for 2 hours, then limit your consumption to 1, up until the point that you limit it to 15 minutes, up until the point that you don't need to do it and can stop it entirely. Your negative habits don't stop your ascension process. Your negative habits don't make you somehow bad, for all of you are one with source already. Your oneness with source is innate, and your connection to source is innate. They, yes, lower your vibration, but what lowers your vibration even more is feelings of guilt and shame, which are totally unnecessary. All of your habits are there for a reason, either because of your past experiences or your conditioning. These habits have emerged and become temporary aspects of your experience, but they can be transformed, they can be transcended, and you can replace habits that you don't prefer with habits that you do prefer. Yet guilt and shame slow down your potential to transform and block the energy of source even more. So no, nothing that you do could ever limit your connection with source except your belief that you are disconnected from source. And a final thing is to look at what you are seeking with this. Your sexuality is the deepest way that you create connection. So addiction to this is a need for connection that is not expressing in the right way. So by creating authentic connection with yourself and with others, you can meet the needs that this addiction is attempting to meet but cannot meet.
Awesome. And there's another question in the chat room. There is, as an artist, there's often the advice to focus on putting the art out there as fast as possible versus waiting for having access to, say, better recordings or paintings. Will it be for better recording and painting that will possibly enhance the first impression? What is your take on this?
One moment. The channel had to adjust his phone. We would say any sort of rush in your process will add levels of attachment and can bring in room for errors. So if this creativity is spontaneous flowing, don't hold back. Don't wait for there to be the right timing or the right resources. But if you can already see that there will be more opportune resources and there will be more opportune settings to share, it's okay to wait a bit of time to complete your creation or to share it. Everything flows. Remember this, that when you follow the formula, you will know what you need to do when you need to do it simply by feeling. So the invitation here and always is to step out of the mentally constructed version of the how and the when and step into the feeling version of when does it feel right for me? How does it feel right for me? What resources do I want to use? What platforms do I want to use? Which connections do I want to use? Within your heart, you know all of this information at a deep intuitive level. So tap into that. We do perhaps require a muting. There is some sound coming in from an unknown source.
It seems to be a glitch in the person's account. It's going in and out.
All right.
There's also one more question in the chat room, which is, what will be the environmental consequences of leak of natural gas in the Baltic Sea from gas pipeline?
This will have a negative impact on many of the animal species there, unfortunately. And in turn, this will change the makeup of the water in some parts of the world, in that area. There might be abnormal growths of different sorts of algae for some time.
Awesome. Leaving it open to the Zoom room again.
Hello, Council.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about crystals, using crystals to make crystal grids, and how you would recommend cleaning crystals, charging crystals, and are there any crystals that would be particularly good for me to work with at this time?
Crystals are a living consciousness, first of all. So note this, that when you meet them, they are...
Yeah, squeeze it, you know how I did?
Wait, one moment. Some issue happened. Could you re-enable your mic? Sorry. Amanda,
Potentially.
Amanda, your mic is open from time to time.
So sorry.
It's all good. Thank you.
All right, continuing. So first of all, remember, crystals are living forms of consciousness. Every crystal you interact with is its own consciousness with its own particular intention. So consider in that sense the individuality of each crystal and the consciousness within it. Crystals of every different family are programmed, or rather based on one core structure, and this vibration emanates from them. Each crystal will have a particular vibration that you can learn how to attune to. You can even, once attuned to that crystal, work with its vibration without having the physical crystal alone. In this sense, crystals are vibrational teachers. In terms of creating crystal grids, this is a very powerful way to direct energy. Now, the power of directing energy is most potent with quartz crystals or other crystals that come to that point at the top. Some other crystals of this nature would be apophyllite and, one moment, danbarite, for example. Though there are other sorts of crystals that come to a pointed end. By creating different geometric shapes that create lines of energy using the points of the crystals, you can direct flows of energy to harness certain intentions. To work with this deeper, you'll have to explore concepts of sacred geometry. Every geometric form has its own core vibration, and therefore you can use different shapes of grids to create specific vibrational fields. Doing this in your home or in a particular room can fill that room with an energy. Doing this near an altar that is focused on particular intentions or prayers can amplify those intentions. You can use these pointed crystals and put in the center corners of a geometric form anchor crystals of different sorts that help to add different vibrations into the mix. In terms of cleansing crystals, we would encourage to use various elements. Clear running water from a stream is very helpful. Salt is helpful only when the crystal is of a high level of hardness, so that the salt will not harm the crystal itself. Smoke from healing plants can clean the crystals. Light can purify the crystals. So yes, this is the light from the full moon or the nearly full moon. Light from the sun works, but light from the sun can also damage some crystals. It can also be light from particular sorts of LED technologies and things of this nature. Though, why do crystals need to be cleansed? It's because of negative energies that the crystals may be exposed to. So if you continue to radiate positive emotional energy and intention around the crystals and in connection with the crystals, they won't need to be charged as much. And really, that's the most potent way to keep the crystals at a high vibration, is to continue to radiate that positive energy out towards the crystals and in the space where the crystals occupy.
Thank you. That's really informative. I'll start there.
All right, great.
May I ask another question that is somewhat related?
All right.
There are some yantras, the sacred geometry that you speak of, that I'm hoping you can shed light on for us. Some of these yantras that we're beginning to come into contact with that have this particular vibration that you speak of, the flower of life,
Yes.
the Shri yantra,
Yes.
and the Metatron's cube.
Yes.
Could you speak of each of these and give us a deeper insight into each, how we can connect with them and best utilize these vibrations?
All of this information is out there in great detail, so we won't dishonor those who have already shared it by assuming what we can share in this little snippet will do it justice. Though essentially, the flower of life, or the tree of life, the seed of life, they're all related, and the Metatron's cube is related as well, is representative of the energetic bridge between dimensions. This is ultimately representing the structure of reality. And meditating upon this particular image can bring you into connection with the core underlying seed of source that exists within everything. The Sri Yantra is also representative of that source consciousness, but in a much different way. This symbol represents the human consciousness ascending into that spiritual consciousness. So it is a symbol that helps you to move through the veil, so to speak, to shed layers of illusion, to experience that spirit within form.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks you, yes.
Just a time check. It's been 1 hour. It's 1
All
o'clock.
right, thank you, yes. Is there anyone who had not yet asked a question who would like to do so? All right, then. We'll leave it here for today. We thank you very much for choosing to connect with us and interact with us in this way. It is a great gift to us, as we hope it is for you. And we wish you a fantastic rest of your day. Reminding you again that we are always with you whenever you would like to connect. Look no further than within your own heart, for all exists within the one. We thank you and we wish you a very fantastic rest of your day then. Super.
Woo, thank you.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much, Dante, for doing this when you're not feeling well.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Working on it.
Sending loads of healing energy your way, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope I receive it and hope that it kicks things into gear quite soon. Cool. Well, thanks for joining today, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Though you can stay tuned to the channel because in these weeks off, I'm going to schedule the spontaneous premiere of some of the recordings that were done in the past months in Denmark and Sweden. So you can look forward to those. And yeah, thanks for being here. And just a reminder, again, private sessions, channeling course, donations, all is available on dantestarshine.com. And the last thing about that is the email list. If you want to be in up to date on these sessions, join the email list. Of course, I post it on social media as well, but the email list will bring it directly into your inbox. So it's the first page of the website. Those are all the announcements. Beyond that, yeah, how's everybody doing? How's the transmission for you today?
Really nice.
Good.
Thank
There's
you.
been some powerful questions too.
Yeah, even the short period of time. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Super awesome. Again, lots of recovery energy your way.
Thank you. I'm a bit different with my sniffles and coughs through the whole thing, I guess. Oh. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about packing up and carrying all my bags with slow energy, but see what happens. Okay,
Well, it'll go well.
thank you. Okay,
Hey, have a good recovery period and a great time out there with in the forest.
thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you guys afterwards on the other side. Bye. Much love.
And thank you again.